Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild. All his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off. Online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, and with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and today's episode we are joined by a very special guest, good friend of the show, and a very familiar guest on the show. This will be his third time appearing on the show, Rudy Hodgson. This will be Rudy's third time appearing on the show, like I said earlier. But this has been an episode in the making for a while now. We've been wanting to do this, but finally got some time, and it's 11:30 at night here, 9:30 by you. So it's gonna be a fun one. But to recap, Rudy plays college hockey for DePaul University and is a recent LatAm Cup champion with Team Colombia. So this is gonna be a fun one. So welcome to the show, Rudy Hodgson.
Thanks, man. I'm glad we can get this episode going. I know we've been trying to plan it for a while. Thank you for being patient with me. I was on a little vacation with my girl in Cleveland, so glad we were able to get into it. And I'm excited, ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So to start things off, like how are you? Like it's been a crazy year and a half since we've had you on the show last. So how's everything been?
Everything's good, man. Just one day at a time, I guess. Really just trying to make the most out of my senior season at DePaul, and obviously with the whole Team Colombia thing, that's kind of kept me busy as well on the hockey front. So, really just kind of trying to make the most of my senior year and have fun with it, but also still try to, play at a high level and play as consistently and as well as people have kind of expected of me over the last 4 years. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, absolutely. But when was the last time we had you on the show? Like 2 years, your sophomore season, or was it your junior season?
Yeah, the season had just ended, so it was my sophomore year, and we were really just kind of talking about, one of the aspects of hockey that I feel is really important is the mental health part of it, and trying to take care of yourself, especially when you're in the middle of a pandemic and you're not really sure when you're going to play. And that was the last time we spoke. It was actually really a conversation, and I've listened to it, not recently, but in the past, and it's a good conversation for sure.
Yeah, so let's start with that then, because it's a huge topic going into the pandemic as well. Like you go into junior season ready to go, and then like the pandemic starts and everything, and you have that time to take to yourself and just think about everything that you've put into hockey, into school, into life, like literally everything. So like, what was that aspect like, and just being able to mentally like keep yourself in check as well as keep a good mental health going?
Well, my approach has been the same since for as long as I could remember. really just take it one day at a time. I tend to overthink stuff, but I started to realize that you can't really bring the bad days home. You have to really just kind of leave it at the rink and try to start each day with a fresh start. Because it'll consume you. You know what I mean? Like it's sometimes you're in the middle of a bad stretch, or you're not playing, or you're hurt. I've been hurt pretty much all this year. So you really want to take it for a grain of salt, and really at the end of the day, tell yourself that it is just a game, and there's more to life than as tough as it is to admit. Sometimes there's more to life than a little puck and 30 pounds of equipment. So I've tried to take my mental health very seriously when it comes to playing hockey, because you do want to enjoy it as well. So with the pandemic, it's been up and down, but I feel like I've had a pretty good support system and good people around me that have helped me kind of make the most of my situation. I wish I could speak for everyone, but on my end, I feel like it's getting better, and things have been going in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the pandemic for me, like it's literally been the exact same. Like just take it day by day, because that's literally how everyone is living right now. It's just day to day, because everything changes within the hours, within the days. And like you just take that time to yourself, especially like when you had like online classes instead of like going to the actual school and attending classes. Like you have so much time to think and so much time to get better at whatever you want, and like just taking the time to really focusing on what you want for the future, and just focus on just being yourself and being the best version of you that you can be.
Absolutely. And it's easier said than done, right? Like it's
Yeah.
one of those things where sometimes really all it takes is a good practice or a good game to really kind of get you back on track, and we see it at pretty much any level of hockey is sometimes you get hurt and you kind of lose yourself for a little bit, or you have a bad stretch of games and your confidence is really low. So, just ride out the lows and really appreciate the highs. And I think once you get past those valleys, so to speak, it's smooth sailing, and you get to really appreciate the game that you love to play.
Yeah, and like once you hit like that bottom, there's all you can do is go up, and just taking those little things, like go back to the fundamentals, keep things simple, everything like that, and just make sure your mental health is like the most important, obviously, and just making sure everything from like physical, mental, emotional, like everything is on track and going uphill after whatever that bottom is.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
Yeah. So did you end up having a junior year, or was it just completely washed?
It was washed. We didn't have a regular season in the conventional sense. We still practiced, and it was good for me personally, because it kind of gave me a chance to fully recover, with my groin issues and my
Yeah.
hip, and I dislocated my shoulder at a practice last season. So it gives you time to set everything back to normal. It sucked that we didn't get a chance to play. I thought we had a really strong team, but we've been able to make the most of it this year. And with our new head coach Dan Wood, he's been incredible in helping us out, and our goaltending coach has been really flexible with us too. So 13 in the region right now. So highest we've been ranked in, I think, in club history. So things are exciting for us at DePaul, and we're just kind of trying to build off that.
Yeah. So like how hard is it just to practice and just have that motivation when you don't have any games, or you just do it like just to develop and get better for the next year, which would be this year where you've been playing games?
Honestly, for me personally, a lot of it just kind of came from loving to play.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of a pandemic. Ice time is already really limited, especially when you live in a big market like Chicago.
Yeah.
We were fortunate to get ice, and I was fortunate to be around. So I, kind of hopped on any opportunity to see some ice. And it wasn't easy. There were some days where I didn't want to go because there was nothing to come out of it. But I was fortunate enough to get some ice and try to stay on top of my game as much as possible.
Yeah, it's like throughout like the whole like last year and a half, like what have been some of the things that you've learned and like really helped yourself grow as not only as an athlete but as a person?
Yeah, the pandemic taught me a lot of things, but I think the big thing it taught me was that I don't need to play hockey to be happy. It kind of taught me to learn to live without the game for a little bit, which is something that I've been playing hockey since I was 4 years old, man.
Yeah.
It's for the last 15, 16, 17 years, it's all I've ever known. So to not play and be content with who I am as an individual and learn to be myself was big for me. The game ends for everybody at some point, and if it ends for me in a couple months, I'm content knowing that I had a good run and that I was fortunate to bring a championship to Colombia and won a couple championships for the inline team for USA. And, I'm completely content with where I'm at as a person and as a player. But if obviously I'm not sure if I'm ready for it to end yet, but if it is, I'm okay. But the pandemic taught me quite a bit about myself as a person and as a player. But I think that was the biggest takeaway, honestly, was accepting to be someone outside of the rink as opposed to constantly being in that spotlight as a hockey player.
Yeah.
I think that was big.
Yeah, that's huge because that's all you've known for the past, 15, 16, 17 years, like you said. And then you go into a place where you don't have hockey for 5, 6, 7 months. Like you have to learn to not have that as often as you usually do and just learn different things. So like during that time, did you pick up any like new hobbies or like what you end up doing for that or with that free time?
The big thing for me was really just prioritizing my physical and mental health. I took exercise more seriously. I worked on my nutrition. Um, I was able to pick up some more jobs in what I'm studying and some internships. So that kind of kept me busy as well. Um, just all across the board, you know what I mean? I was home, everybody was home, right? So
Yeah.
everyone was kind of on the same boat. Still tried to find ice time every here and there. I still love to play, still love to be around the guys. And, I was home, so I was around my childhood friends and teammates. So you make the most of it, but you chip away and you move along and, you just kind of go through the motions. I mean, what could you do in the middle of a pandemic, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like just as an athlete, like you say, you don't need like the game, but like you still do like that exercise. Like it's crazy that how much it like takes on you. And like I did the same thing. Like I just constantly like lifted weights in my basement, like and just prioritize like mental health, like physical health, like all of that, like not getting injured or any of that. And it's crazy to think that you want to take the time off from your sport for a little bit and then you're still doing a lot of other things that involve like high intensity stuff and you're still enjoying it and enjoying the grind.
Man, I love the grind. I love, the ups and down of a season. I live for that stuff. And
Yeah.
um, not having that for a year and a half, however long it was, there's some highs and there's lows, but we're back in the mix of things now, and really just trying to enjoy these next couple months for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you go into summer for the off season for between your junior and senior year. Everything starts opening back up and you're training. So like what's like a training like week like for you during the off season, just skating and lifting and all that?
I think it depends on where I am. If I'm in Chicago, really, it's just me going to the gym maybe 4 or 5 times a week, give myself a couple of days off, and um, I'm on the ice probably twice a week during the off season. Um, it's really pretty straightforward. You try to eat your proteins and your vegetables, try to take care of yourself. And if I'm back home, it's a little more relaxed because in Los Angeles, ice time is a little harder to find. And I'm honestly probably playing roller hockey if anything. But um, I think this year was a little differently with the pandemic and obviously us knowing that we were going to have a season just because, in the back of my mind, even though DePaul was the priority and DePaul has my undivided attention, I'd be lying to you if I said that I wasn't training for Team Colombia. I knew I was going to be on that team, and I knew I was going to have a good team in front of me, and I really just wanted to be ready to make the most of that opportunity. And after losing the way we did in 2019 to Jamaica, we knew that we wanted to go into that tournament and make some noise. So even though I trained for a DePaul season, I was really prioritizing that Team Colombia tournament. I've been ready for that tournament since probably April, May of the year before. So that a whole off season, that was definitely in the back of my mind.
Yeah, so then you go into the LatAm Cup with Team Colombia. So like take us through like the whole process from like the start of the year when you're just going to school and then you have to leave for a weekend in October for the cup and just going to Florida and living the life there and ending up winning a LatAm Cup.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, I could probably sit here and talk about it for hours, but I do want to give credit and thanks to my coaching staff at DePaul for letting me go. And the big if with these tournaments is, what if you go and you get hurt? And that was unfortunately the case for me. I got hurt in the quarterfinal of that tournament and just kind of had to gut it out for the rest of the way. But the preparation was the same. Everything, it was really business as usual for me. I'm very detail oriented and very superstitious. I approach every game the same way. I try not to overthink it,
Yeah.
which is ironic for someone like me. I overthink everything off the ice. But it was awesome, and we were nowhere near as big of favorites as we were 2 years ago. So heading into that tournament with a bit of a chip on my shoulder as a goalie, I hadn't played all year with DePaul because of my leg and because our other two goaltenders are incredible. So it was really an opportunity for me to show that I could still play at that level and help a team win. And we struggled at first, but we were able to pull it out. And I do think it was probably the highlight of my career, bringing Colombia a championship for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, what did you guys have like any restrictions down there? Or, like, was it pretty like a standard tournament?
You have your rules and regulations. You have to listen to what the league, well, not the league, but what the tournament organizers are telling you. We didn't have a whole lot of restrictions as far as on the rink, but they definitely were pretty careful, and the tournament was very well organized, and they took really good care of us. The NHL sponsored it, so we got to shake some hands and answer some questions for the league and for other media outlets. So that was my 1 week in the NHL. It was really, really cool. It was an awesome experience. And to get that kind of attention for international hockey, especially in Latin America, is huge. So it was an honor and a privilege to represent my parents' country and find a little bit of success in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, what did you learn from playing in this advanced tournament? Like, how do you put like the things you learned and like put it into your game actually that saw that success throughout the tournament?
For me, the big thing was making adjustments and taking the time to really appreciate where I was. I say that because hockey is such a young sport in Colombia. It's so new. So many kids are so eager to learn, and I've been fortunate to have ice time whenever I need and still have that Colombian background, right? So
Yeah,
for me, I went into that tournament obviously expecting to win and play as best as I could, but I also really wanted to take some time to really appreciate the severity of what I was doing and who I was representing. If a little kid picks up a stick in Colombia tomorrow because he saw me play, I think that means more than any medal or championship. It kind of just grows the game, and it would mean a lot to me if a couple of years from now people look back at that tournament in 2021 it's a stepping stone for what Colombia can be. You know, there's a lot of potential there and a lot of room to grow. And I'm proud to be just 1%, small part of that growth. And every game was different. You have to make adjustments. Business as usual. I mean, I like I said, I approach every game the same way, whether it's a scrimmage, a regular season game, or a playoff game, or a championship. It's at the end of the day, it's just a game, and you have to be ready for it. But I was struggling with my far side a little bit. I was getting beat, so I had to make adjustments. Had to work on my depth, my angles. Had to try to read the shots. It's a different type of shots, a different play style. I think college hockey is a lot more run and gun, a lot more speed and athleticism, and the more grown up game is more tactical and a lot more organized. So I had to make adjustments there. Unfortunately, made them just in time to help the
right
team.
when it matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, and for like the biggest thing, like I love what you said, like growing the game, because that's what everyone tries to do. That like from different countries, like you're just trying to grow the game and make like have the kids like see what you're doing, and then hopefully they go into your place, or like have you like, or like say like Rudy's the reason why I played hockey. Like that's like just growing the game and just being able to like make it like more personal than anything.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was such an honor, and it was so crazy, like showing up to the rink and having these little kids just like look at you like you're a superhero. You know what I mean? It's
like you're an NHL guy.
weird. Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, I'm just some broke college kid that plays in Chicago. I grew up playing in Los Angeles, not a huge hockey market, but representation, it really does matter. And for those kids to see someone in their country's colors, it really does do something to I remember what it meant for me to see, those guys wear those uniforms, what it was like for me to see the Kings growing up. And, like I said, if I could be that for just one person, I think that would mean more to me than anything I've done in my career. So it was, like I said, an honor, but we're obviously there to win the tournament, and we were fortunate enough to do so. So it was just a good week all around, and had a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you are successful during the tournament. You go all the way into the championship games. Like, what's that championship game like, and just everything surrounding it, like all the buzz about like the LatAm champs, like the cups, like the cup after, just everything. Like, what was that whole game like, and just being in there, in the present there, and just being in the moment at that game?
It was electric. I honestly wish I took it in a little bit more, but I was just so focused on getting out there. And the way the ice den is set up is the locker rooms are under the stands. So we're getting ready for the game, and we could hear like a mariachi band. We could hear all the Colombian fans like playing instruments and stuff, and we could feel the locker room kind of shaking. So I'm in the hallway and I'm doing my routine, and I could just hear everyone like singing all this cumbia music. And we came out with like a band led us out to the ice for warm-ups, and it was just I don't know. I think there's so many few moments as a hockey player where you just have to soak it all in and have to really appreciate just the severity of where you're at. And for me, that was one of those eye-opening moments where I was like, wow, this game is bigger than me. This means so much to so many people, and it really falls on your shoulders. And hockey's a team game, but goaltending is a lonely position.
It is.
The game's not always going to be on your hands or on your side. So there are some moments where the puck's on the other side of the rink and you should be focused, but I couldn't help but look up at the stands and be like, wow, that's a lot of gold and blue and red. And it was really electric. And, from the start, I told myself that I needed to just get a feel for the puck and get a feel for the speed of the game and gauge how the game was going to shape out. And fortunately, we had a lot of control early, and we jumped on some leads, and we got some fortunate power plays. And I never really had to settle in and bear down. I had the occasional big save, but it was just the perfect overall team game. And I was able to really enjoy myself. There was really no pressure, up 5-1 with a minute left. I was just able to really soak it in. And in the video, you could see me throw my helmet and throw my gloves and my stick. It was just it was a feeling that I can't really describe. I kind of blacked out for a little bit, and I don't know, man, like I get goosebumps thinking about it, looking up at the stands, seeing my mom, hoisting that cup, man. Feels weightless. You just feel like you're on top of the world. And, we get so caught up as hockey players, there's obviously a lot more heartbreak than there is success. You always lose more than you win sometimes. And that was one of those moments where, it was worth all the back pain. It was worth all the travel, all the hassle, all the games you lose. And, to have that moment there with my family, it was incredible and really special.
Yeah, that's unreal. Like, it must have been a surreal experience, and just all the experiences that you gained, like the atmosphere that you like felt in the locker room going into the tunnel. Like, those are things that you look back on and you're like, you soak it all in at that moment, even though like you're focused on the game. But like there's those times where, like you said, like you just gotta embrace it and take it all in. And like it's amazing the experiences that the sport of hockey and any sport that you play brings you. And like you learn a lot from those games and those experiences.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, we were playing with a chip on our shoulder. We came back to beat Argentina in semifinal or in quarterfinals. We beat them in double overtime. To play a double overtime game on the international stage was already enough stress. And then the semifinal, we play Lebanon, who smoked us 8-2. We had no business seeing them in the semifinal. They were just such a good team, and we were able to upset them and, really just kind of steal a game 5-2. I honestly think that was probably the difference maker in the tournament. But it was an incredible experience, and it was a lot of fun to have that with the team and with my family around.
Yeah, absolutely. So like throughout like those times where it's like, because you throughout like that time where you did go into double overtime, like what's that game like, and just how do you stay focused during that time when like your goal is to stop the next puck, because that next goal that could go in is the winner.
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge difference maker, because we actually got off to that game down by 1, and we didn't get the start that we really wanted. So you hear the horn, you hear the crowd yelling, and you really just kind of have to take a second to really bring yourself back to reality and understand that, okay, just stop the next puck, right? It's a lot of stress. It's a lot going on around you. And, even though there is a lot of pressure on it, you just kind of have to hone in on yourself and really just try to take it 1 minute at a time and one shot at a time. So I never really got too high, never got too low. I typically stay pretty calm when I play, regardless of the score. But that game, it did feel a little bit different, and it felt like every shot, could go in, and you were really on your toes. But you play for those moments. You know what I mean? That's what you practice for. That's what you train for. And you have to be mentally tough, especially when you're playing those big games, because if you're out of it, you're going to be letting everything in, and you're just not going to have any confidence in yourself. So sometimes it takes a big save or a goal, and every player is different. But for me, I was able to be nice and calm during that final, and up until the last maybe 20 seconds, and I started to relax a little bit and enjoy myself.
Yeah, so like how do you keep up those energy levels when you are playing that double overtime game, and like just like during intermissions, like what do you do to keep that energy going?
Honestly, you kind of feed off the guys. I for me personally, I fed off the team. We were so confident in each other, and we believed in our stuff. And I think I always say that the most dangerous hockey player is a confident one.
Yeah.
If you believe that you can get to that next step, I think it goes a long way. We had struggled up until that point. And I really do think that Argentina game was a turning point. We just kind of believed in each other, and we fed off of that. And we told each other that we had been there before, and, no one expects us to win, but we always find a way. So let's just keep going and play with that chip on our shoulder. And, like I said, I wasn't having the best year. My back was hurt. I had just got run over in the second period, and ended up having a facet joint strain. And I couldn't play hockey for a month and a half because of it. But, you're running on adrenaline, you feed off of the crowd. And, I had no business finishing that game, but I finished that one and two more. So it was electric. And I if I could go back in time and do it again, I absolutely would. And the injury that came with it, the medal that came with it, the experience, the memories, I mean, it's all worth it at the end of the day. It was electric, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, and when you think back on it, like, you got injured, but it's hell of a lot worth everything that you went through to get to that medal and that championship. Even though you injured your back, like your groins were bugging you, like it's all worth it in the end. And just being able to just experience that and get the dub and the medal after all that you went through, and just to be able to just be at the level and experience everything you did.
Yeah, man. Like I said, if I can go back in time, I would do it 10 times over, 100 times over. It was just, it was a lot of fun. And I've been very lucky to be a part of this team. And I hope to be a part of this team for a couple of years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, what'd you do after you won the LatAm Cup? Like, there's a viewer question that said that was like #Miami or something like that.
Say that one more time.
So what'd you do after you won the Latin American Cup? Like, what'd you do after that?
And what was the fan question?
It was let me pull it up really quick. It was like, what'd you do after the LatAm Cup? And it said #Miami.
Yeah, so we drove about an hour north and went to Miami, and we celebrated at this club that a particular NBA team had been at when they won an NBA championship a couple of years ago. So I I probably shouldn't say it like this, but I will. I wasn't really in a state of mind to really dive deeper in the celebrations, but it was a good time, and the videos and pictures speak for themselves. So it was electric, man. It was great. We came in on a boat. I mean, it was so much fun. Bottles of champagne everywhere. It was just like I said, there's very few moments as a hockey player where you get to really appreciate where you are. And these people in Miami had no idea who I was, but I was just this hero with a trophy, and everybody was asking for pictures and wanted to get a picture with the trophy and get a picture with us. So to have that attention and notoriety was really fun. But I really wish I could recount more about that night, other than the fact that we had won and made the venture down to Miami.
Yeah, let's just keep that and say that you and your teammates had a fantastic time down there.
Absolutely. Say that again for sure. It was a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get into DePaul here a little bit.
Yeah.
So how's this season going for you and the team? Like, I know you've said you've been injured quite a bit and haven't been playing as much, but like you're there and like you're seeing the team. Like, how's everything going with the team and you personally?
Personally for me, this season's kind of been a journey. I mean, like I said, I've been hurt, I haven't been playing much, but that's a lot of that is also because the guys in front of me have been electric too. I mean, Asher and AJ, I can't give them enough credit. We have such a tight bond as a tandem, and we really do feel like goaltending is not the problem on this team. Whoever starts is capable of winning and helping the team out. So been fortunate enough to kind of build off of that, and we all kind of feed off of each other. And I do appreciate the relationship that I have with them. But as far as the team is, the team's good. We're, like I said, we're ranked 13th. We've been riddled with a couple injuries here, but we all root for each other, and it's really such a a tight community that we've had this season that we haven't really had in the past. And I do credit that a lot to our coaching staff and to our leadership group. And we have a really strong team, and we really do think we can make a lot of noise. So aside from me being hurt, honestly, it's been fun. I've enjoyed it, and I'm going to continue to enjoy it. And I really do believe that this team can make a run, a deep run too. So we'll have to look out for it. I'm still kind of recovering a little bit, but I do hope to be a bigger part of the team the second half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just fun going to the rink when you guys are all just like close knit and like it's a good group of guys, and like you're just enjoying your time with the boys and having fun, winning some games, and just having the time of your lives, and just enjoying being in the present moment with all the boys.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's more often than not, I'm really hanging out with the other two goalies, and like I said, Asher and AJ and I, we have such a tight relationship, and our goaltending coach has been really helpful too, in kind of helping us really gauge how the season is going and how everything's going to shape out. So I do appreciate that as well. And like I said, the most dangerous hockey player is a confident one, and we're confident in each other that whoever's going to be in net is going to be the one that's going to help us win. And so far, that's been the case. So even though I am a third, as of right now at least, it's you kind of have to accept that and roll with the punches and make the most of it. So every season is different. My season hasn't been what I've expected personally as an individual, as one member of the team, but I'm happy for the way the team's headed, and I don't really have anything bad to say about how it's been going. Sometimes you just got to be a team player.
Yeah, and it's all about being a good teammate at that point. Like you're just supporting your other two goalie partners, and just increasing that bond with the tandem, as well as like enjoying the time with the boys, and just building that confidence within the team. Like it's all about being that glue guy and just being able to just be a good teammate, because that's what a lot of people do look at, is just being if you're a good teammate or not.
Yeah, I mean, it goes a long way. Sometimes you have to sacrifice, and sometimes you kind of have to take a bullet. It hasn't been easy, but it's very rewarding to see that the team's found success. As someone that puts a lot of pressure on themselves, sometimes it's really easy to get down in the dumps because you're not dressed or you're not playing or whatever the case is. But you have, like I said, rolled the punches, and you also have to take a good look in the mirror and accept that right now you're not the guy, and you have to work your way back up. So that's been the case for me. And, I'm not new to this situation. Everyone kind of has that moment in their career where they're not the guy, but I do believe in myself, and I really do believe in my stuff. And, I was given an opportunity a couple of weeks ago against, I don't even remember who we played, St. Norbert's, and was able to put up a good win and some good numbers. So hopefully that's just a stepping stone to where I would like to be when the season ends and come playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been in the DePaul organization for 4 years now. So like, what's been some of your favorite memories from those 4 years?
Honestly, the road trips have been amazing. I always look forward to the road trips, just spending time with the guys and not really worrying about hockey. It's the relationships that last a lifetime, the memories as well. And if I had to pick a specific game that I really, really enjoyed, it would probably be my first shutout in Northern Michigan. I love to tell this story that we were up like 5 or 6-0, and there was like a minute left, and one of our guys tripped a defenseman and gave them a penalty shot, and the ref came up to me after I saved it, and he was like, if I would have known this is your first shutout, like I wouldn't have even called that. So like he personally came and gave me the puck after the game. He's like, I am so sorry, man. Like I did not read the room.
I almost ruined your first shutout.
I don't care. I was able to pull it out and grind it out. So I do love that story. And then my first game at Johnny's was really cool. I think it was like a home opener or something. That was a lot of fun. And I definitely enjoyed my first couple of games. My freshman year definitely had more memories than the latter because of the pandemic and fighting for ice time and stuff. But it's been fun. I've appreciated my 4 years at DePaul, and with hindsight, maybe could have made a save here or there, made a decision back when or whatever, but I don't really like to think in hypotheticals or dwell on it. The way my career's panned out is the way it's panned out, and I'm proud of it nonetheless.
Yeah. So what's the future like after your senior year ends? Like what's your plan for hockey, or are you just like whatever comes my way comes my way?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm like I said, I'm taking it one step at a time. If anything pops up, I'll consider it. I will definitely take a look into it. I've been fortunate to be around some good teams and put up a decent resume, I'd say, for myself. But I'm not sure what the future has in store. If March comes around and that's it for my professional ice career or whatever the case is, so be it. I'm proud of that and content with where I'm at as a person and as a player. But I'm not really sure if I'm ready to give it up. I've accepted if this is it, I've accepted that. But you never know. I could be in a completely different headspace in a couple months and just kind of cross that bridge when I get there. So I think for now I'm just trying to enjoy myself and appreciate where I'm at now. Heal and finish out the season strong, and then we'll focus on the future when we get there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great mindset to have, and want to wish you the best of luck with that with the rest of the season and with that with the future, whatever the future holds. I'm sure you'll make the right decision.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's my senior year. We had a good team, and if the last like real championship game I play is the Colombia championship game, and got a nice shiny ring on my finger, and so be it. I'm proud of myself and proud of what I've been able to accomplish as just a small part of that team, and as I guess a small career of my own. So I've been very lucky and very fortunate, and I'm blessed to have had this chapter of my life be successful to some degree, and I cherish that very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we wrap things up here, I have two like hot topics that I want you to answer. So what are your thoughts on Staples Center changing its name to crypto.com?
Oh my gosh. I thought I was going to get to this whole thing without answering an LA question, but
I had to do that because Staples Center is a historic site there.
I hate it, man. I don't like it. I'm not going to lie to you. I grew up with it being Staples Center. I saw my Kings win the Stanley Cup there twice. You know what I mean? That place holds a lot in here. So it's not easy seeing it, the crypto, but corporate America doesn't care about the little guy. They'll 500 million. I probably wouldn't turn that down myself. So good for Staples Center or the crypto, whatever. But I'll never call it the crypto. It'll always be a Staples Center to me.
It'll always be the Staples Center for sure. But my final one's what do you think of the new expansion team in the Seattle Kraken, how they're doing?
I think the expansion is good for the league. I mean, I love what the NHL did with Vegas. I think they capitalized on it really well, and I think growing the game in all these different markets is really good for the game. It's good for the growth of the game too. I mean, I think having Gretzky in LA in the 90s, did a lot for the growth of hockey in Los Angeles. Obviously, Vegas is growing as a hockey market with the success of the Golden Knights. The Ducks have a really good youth program. And these are all markets that 20, 30 years ago you would have never imagined would find success and be good. So, I really do give my hats off to the NHL. They obviously run a good operation over there. But I think the team in Seattle, even though they're struggling a little bit right now, I think in a couple of years we'll really see the effect that team is having on the community. And I think at the end of the day, it's all about growing the game. Whether it's an NHL expansion team in some new big market, or if it's just some dumb 21-year-old kid playing for a Latin American country. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're all trying to help the game grow in our own unique way, and I think it's exciting for the league and exciting for young hockey players in America for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And just it's a great place in Seattle. Like they had the Thunderbirds and the Dub team, and
Yeah.
they did really well over there. So why not bring an NHL team? And they've been successful so far. And like their record may not show it, but like the attendance they're getting and like the how they're growing the game, like that's all that really matters when you're growing, when you're trying to grow a market.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what the NHL does in the future if they bring a team to Houston or whatever the case is, give Quebec their team back. But like I said, it to me personally I'm a fan first and a player second. I'm excited for how the NHL is handling it, and excited for the growth of hockey in the United States and across the world. Really, I think it's an awesome opportunity, and I'm excited to see how it goes and shapes out.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you there. But Rudy, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time, and want to wish you the best of luck going forward with DePaul, and go get another championship sometime soon.
Yeah, man, I'll try my best. Absolutely. Thanks, Jack, for having me. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure
Yeah.
talking to you, my man.
Oh yeah, always.